Hey everybody, it's me again. So I know it's been a little while since the last one I posted and this one, but it's been kind of busy around here and, I don't get paid to make these videos, at least not yet. So I'm on no real particular schedule other than I'm trying to do one a week. So I'll do the best I can and, go from there. Hooray! So the video this week, I decided to do kind of a get to know me video, I guess. So I went online, and for some reason, I haven't seen those stupid questionnaires that used to float around on MySpace and Facebook and all those for the longest time. I haven't seen any of those in the longest time, and the ones I used to fill out like a long time ago, I don't seem to have anymore. So I went online and did some, stupid questionnaire searches, and I found some questions. So today I'm going to do would you rather questions. I'm not going to do all 27 that are on here, but I picked a few that I thought would give a decent insight into who I am and stuff like that, and go from there. So yeah, and then if you guys have any questions for me, always feel free to post them in comments and stuff, and the next time I do another questionnaire video, I'll make sure I include them and answer them, because I'm a Gemini and we like talking about ourselves. So so first question is, would you rather read on a Kindle or a paperback book? This is actually kind of a yes question, because it kind of depends on the situation. I love reading, first of all, and I love the feel of actual real books in my hand. Just because it's so much easier to, flip through a book and stuff. Well, not easier, but for me, it's just such a comforting thing to be able to just flip through the pages of a book when you're reading and, just have that there. But at the same time, it's so easy, handy, whatever, to have all your books loaded on one reader, because then it's a lot less you have to pack when you go on trips or vacations or whatever. All you have to do is just take your reader and that's it. So, when you go on a plane, you don't have to figure out which books you want to take on the plane with you, because you never know what kind of mood you might be in. But this way you have your Kindle, and in theory you have a wide variety of whatever books you happen to be interested in on there, so you can read whatever you want to, or like me, read 3 or 4 different books at any given time, so, it makes it easy. So yeah, I guess in that situation, would I really rather do it on a device or on a book? The answer is, depends on the situation. I like them both. I will not, however, read on a computer or a laptop unless it's, Facebook or something like that. But if it's any sort of like book material, for whatever reason, I won't do it on a computer and I won't do it on a laptop. It has to be either an actual e-reader of some kind, or like my smartphone, or an actual printed book. That's the biggest hang up I have, I guess. Would I rather hike or bike? That one's easy. I'd rather hike, because you can go so many places that you can't with a bike. So, you can go off exploring off the trails and stuff. I know a lot of people would say, well, if you have a mountain bike, you can do the same thing. Well, that's true to a point. But if you come to a place where you have to climb over something for some reason, then all of a sudden you have to carry the bike over it and everything else. And granted, a bike can get you places a lot faster, but at the same time, the whole purpose of a hike is the hike. It's not just getting to the end. And the same thing with riding a bike. It's, riding a bike. I mean, you can ride a bike or walk, for that matter, with a purpose in mind, but if you're hiking or bike riding, that type of thing, for pleasure, it's not about the end, it's about the experience. So in my personal opinion, I'd rather hike. Plus, and this has probably changed, but one thing I know is I tend to do better hiking than biking. Not because I fall over or anything, because I don't, but just because I have a history of being fat, and granted, I may not be fat now, but I'm actually probably in worse shape, physically speaking, than I was when I was fat. So really, I probably have less stamina now than I did then, and bike riding was never fun for me, especially going up hills. So, I'd just rather hike. Would I rather wear jeans or chinos? Anybody who knows me knows I would rather wear jeans than chinos. I wear jeans to the point where they will get these holes in them, in the pocket area, because I tend to wear pens and stuff in my pockets. And then when I'm sitting, when I'm commuting, that type of thing, they tend to poke up out of into the pant leg and eventually start to wear a hole. I've taken to wearing my pens and stuff on the back of my hat, so sometimes when I'm not thinking about things, You might see a video where you'll see me wearing a hat like this and there's something sticking out of the back like that. That's because I'm usually got a pen, and usually a pen and a Sharpie from work on the back of my hat. It just makes it easy because I don't usually have like shirt pockets, but I don't like wearing my stuff in my pants because I wear an apron at work, so it's a lot easier to just have something in my hat that I can just pull out of right quick. I guess it's my equivalent of women who have buns and stuff in their hair, so I guess that's kind of the same thing. One sec. Okay, I'm back. So, next question. Would you rather visit Europe or Mexico? This one's a toughie. Honestly, the question is neither. If I'm going to visit a place that's not, in the United States, it's going to be New Zealand. New Zealand is my first choice for any place I want to visit. Just because I've just always liked the thought of New Zealand. I've always liked what I've read about it, what I've seen in pictures and TV shows and stuff. So, New Zealand is some place that I want to visit at some point. Second place, honestly, I want to see Ireland at some point, and I want to see some of the countryside in England, but not necessarily London. But I would say, honestly, probably Mexico. Not so much because I have any great love of Mexico, but because I have a friend who lives in Mexico, and I'd like to see him in his hometown for once instead of just seeing him here in the U.S., so it'd be nice to be able to do that. So, New Zealand first, and then Mexico. Would you rather travel by plane, train, or automobile? I've traveled by automobile. I've traveled by plane. I love flying. But honestly, I think I'd like to travel by train at some point. I think it'd be really cool to, it's faster than driving, but still slower than flying, and that whole, nostalgic aspect to it of going across the country in a sleeper car and everything else. I think that would just be kind of cool. So, if I had my choice, go by train at least once before I die. Go climbing or zip lining? Honestly, zip lining. Because I have seen some awesome videos on YouTube and stuff of people doing these awesome ziplining adventures and everything else, and I think it would just be freaking amazing to be able to just, zoom over some of these vistas of, 100 or several hundred foot drops of, waterfalls and rivers and cliffs and trees and everything else, and I think it'd be awesome. And, I like ziplining. The one time I did it right before I hit the tree face first at the end, but, other than that, I liked ziplining, so honestly, I think it would be awesome to go ziplining again. Climbing just seems kind of hard. Fun, maybe, but also hard. And, not so much into the hard. So, definitely ziplining. Would you rather go to a comedy club or a dance club? Comedy club. I love humor. I love laughing. I love making people laugh. I suck at dancing. Which honestly would probably be a reason to go to a dance club because I could make people laugh. But really, I just suck at dancing. So going to a dance club where I don't know any of the dance moves, I don't recognize most of the music, it would just be an all-around disaster. Plus, I don't drink, so there would be no real fun involved in it for me because I don't dance. I don't enjoy being around people who do nothing but drink the whole time they're out somewhere. And I don't like the smell of alcohol anyways, so for me, a dance club is just not the best fun. So I'd rather go to a comedy club. Which actually, that kind of feeds into, would you rather have a night out or evening in, followed by watch TV or read a book? Kind of rather answer this one with reading a book. And I'd rather have a night in. Going out can be fun if it's to the right places and with the right people. But having a night in where you have friends over and, you make dinner and then you play board games or something, that is fun. Or, staying at home and curling up with a book and, a cup of hot chocolate and, maybe a blanket with a couple of dogs, on the couch next to you or something. That is heaven. So, yeah. Camp in an RV or stay in a tent? Honestly, I've camped in a tent. I do it every summer for 2 weeks. It'd probably be fun to camp in an RV, but especially with the situation I find myself in, camping in a tent means I'm surrounded by other people, also camping in tents, whereas if you're in like an RV type situation, you kind of almost have to be someplace where you can plug in stuff. And that just kind of takes you out of some of the areas where there are, the kind of camaraderie that you get when you have a bunch of people all, kind of close together with tents and stuff. So honestly, if it was me, I think I'd always choose camping in a tent over camping in an RV. It's just more fun, more personable. Use Facebook or Twitter? Facebook. I still have no idea what Twittering is all about. I mean, I understand the whole 140 characters lesson. You're just basically blurbing out whatever is in your head in a given moment. But honestly, I don't get it. I'm like, I don't need to know that, hey, you're sitting on the potty and eating a pretzel at the same time. Or, I don't know, whatever it is, that thought that pops in your head that you have to post every moment of every day. I get enough of that on Facebook. I don't need it on my phone and everything else through Twitter. I guess I've just never really understood the whole process, I guess. I mean, it's great for, people who a lot of people follow, famous people, that type of thing, politicians, whatever, when they have thoughts on, big news events and stuff. But otherwise, who cares? Seriously. Choose a free trip or money. This has a note. This may tell you whether the person values experiences over dollars. True to a point. However, if depending on how much the money was, I could pay off my bills, and then I could take a trip with the money that I'm not paying on those bills. So I'd have both the experiences and the money. Or I'd be using the money to take a trip anyway, so either way, they're about the same. I don't know, like I said, if I'm going to take a trip, it's probably going to be to New Zealand or Mexico. But if I had the money, I could pay off bills. Depending on how much money it was, I could maybe, I don't know, take a trip with the money in addition to paying my bills, or buy a small house somewhere, or, something. It all just kind of depends on, I mean, you have to give me parameters. How much money are we talking about? $50? Are we talking about a trip to Costco? I mean, what are we talking about here? Play dodgeball or kickball? This one's easy. Dodgeball. I always had fun with dodgeball. It's funny. No matter how large I got, I was usually pretty quick in dodging the dodgeball. Probably because I was picked on a lot growing up. So I learned to dodge the, pushes and the shoves and the kicks and stuff like that. So it just came naturally that whenever balls were whenever balls were around, that I was getting, pretty good at dodging them, especially after I got hit in the face with a basketball. That's what this is all about. So dodgeball actually is kind of fun for me. I mean, it's a physical activity, and, you try not to get hurt, and at the same time you try and catch the ball, so that way then you can slug it at people and, I guess not hurt them, but, tag them out, and, then you're the one that's victorious, and you're all alone, and you're standing on a field, and you're going, "Rah! I'm the winner! I'm the winner! I rule all!" Type thing. But that's just me. So, yeah. So that's the video for this week. Basically just me answering some stupid questions about myself. I'm sure you guys can come up with better questions, so, hit me up. Give me questions that you want to know. I have absolutely no embarrassment factor. Really, I also have very little in the way of a filter, so ask me questions. You never know what the answer will be, but I'll always answer you. So, talk to you later.